Hey everyone, this is Dave coming at you with another ZBrush tutorial, and today we're going to talk about accessory keypads and how they can make you a very fast sculptor, 5 to 10 times faster than all of your professional sculpting friends. So essentially what I'm going to show you is there's a great sculpt here by Rumpelstiltskin on the screen, and what I'm going to show you is just some real quick, just kind of made up sculpting operations. And I keep saying keypad, what am I talking about? It is this guy here. So it's a small keypad, it's got this amazing jog dial on it, which is super cool, and then these 10 keys which you can assign to anything you want. So in ZBrush, it turns out most people wind up only using about 3 to 5 different brushes for most of their main sculpting work, and they only go to the exotic stuff once in a blue moon. So what you can do is you can assign all of those common brushes to keys on the keypad, and then the dial changes the brush size, which is super convenient because you never have to type in like very strange key combinations, and most importantly, nothing's blocking your sculpt. You're sitting here trying to oh, I want to switch brushes and see what I'm doing, but oops, instead there's a giant menu that is shown up. The traditional way is great. People are really good at it. I'm just learning, so I need to make mistakes as quickly as possible, and I find that using the keypad is just amazing when it comes to speed. So let's take a quick look here. And again, sort of pay attention to the brush indication over here and then the draw size here. So we can come back here and we can say, hey, let's make this crease a little bit creasier, and we can switch to the damp standard brush, and I can go in and I can make this indentation, and that's a little bit heavy-handed, but the point is that I can then immediately switch to, say, H polish and start flattening this area out. Right, and then let's say I want to get a little bit more detailed, and what's interesting here is I am moving the cursor and changing the brush size and switching brushes dynamically. Let's say I wanted to actually kind of make this it's more of a hard edge. I could go back to the damp standard brush and go ahead and do that. And again, I'm not having to pull up any menus. And if you watch over here, I can change brushes, this quickly. It's like literally there's almost no limitation to how fast I could change a brush. And then so let's say I'm doing a little bit more, edge polishing here, going, okay, let's get this edge as well. And then if I decide that maybe this whole area should move out, I can switch to the move brush, make my draw size really big, and then just make a really broad decision, or kind of dial it down and maybe try and clean that up a little bit. And you'll notice that the brush size can change very, very quickly, and because all of these keys and the dial are on this little keypad right together, I really don't have to move my hand much. So it really makes things go super fast. So I've got polyframe on. There's a button in the middle of the jog dial, sort of like an extra button. I've got polyframe on and off toggling on that button because for me sometimes it's really nice to see what the topology looks like. Clearly this is just the result of some kind of random triangle decimation, and you really wouldn't be sculpting in anything that looked like this. And again, hitting polyframe is a quick way to go oh wow, there's really something crazy up with this topology. So I've got that button there, and then my bottom left button, I have move. Next to that, I have damp standard. Then I have the inflate brush filling out the bottom row. On the middle row, I've got control, and then I have alt, and then I have shift, sort of mimicking the 3 keys you might see on a regular keyboard. And then my top row is trim dynamic, clay buildup, and H polish. And these brushes are a little bit chosen arbitrarily. They're kind of based on Steve James's head sculpting tutorial, which I watched a bunch and followed a number of times, so they're good at getting one through that. And then in ZBrush, you can set up keys for switching brushes, and the thing about ZBrush is a lot of the common keys you might want to assign, they're all taken, right? So all the regular keys are taken, most of the controls are taken. So for the brush assignments, I've used alt key notations. So I have alt M is move, and the way you can actually set this up is if you click on the brush icon to open up the brush palette, if you hold down Control and Alt and click on it, you'll notice that at the top left, well, it actually goes by really quickly here. Okay, you'll notice under the menu bar it says press any key combination to assign custom hotkey, or press escape or mouse button, etc., to cancel. So we're going to cancel that, but essentially you can choose a brush and then Alt click on it in that menu and assign a key. So I assigned, again, Alt M for move and then Alt C for clay buildup, etc. And I essentially came up with Alt key combinations for the brushes I wanted to use. And then the software has this application that comes with it that installs, when you set up the drivers. And as you can see, I've set up the Alt keys. The dial itself, I've configured for using the bracket keys, which essentially change the brush size in ZBrush. And that's really it for setup. So again, you spend a minute or two setting up the key combinations, and then suddenly, like I said, you can be moving your cursor and change the brush size, or you can be doing clay buildup one moment and then a moment later be doing age polish. The other thing about this keypad, and we'll see this when we go over to the Amazon page, is it's tiny, it's battery operated, and it's totally easy to take with you. And people are like, oh, well, I don't know if I want to learn how to use a keypad because then I've got to bring it with me everywhere. It's like, well, if you're using ZBrush, you're probably toting a Wacom with you wherever you're going anyway, and then this keypad is not that much extra, and it's actually quite in line with the size of the Wacom alternative, which is quite a bit more expensive. I think what's great about this option is, as you can see, it's only $35. So even if you're like, oh, I'm not sure if this is for me or whatnot, it's not that big of an investment. And if you have a Cintiq, Wacom already gave you sort of their version of this. And if you don't have a Cintiq and you want to stay brand centric, you can buy the Wacom version, which is nearly identical but costs $100. So this one is great because, again, it's fairly cheap, and even if you throw it in your backpack and it gets lost, it's like, it wasn't free, but hey, it was only $35 versus $100. Anyway, so that is pretty much what I wanted to show you guys, using a simple keypad accelerator to just way speed up your sculpting. So anyway, as always, thank you for watching, and if you like this content, feel free to like and subscribe, and I will catch you next time. All right, bye-bye.